I definitely think that that's just perpetuating stereotypes. It's so important to have this discussion because I think that when people say things like that, they don't realize that, especially when it comes from black people, I'm like, I feel like you're encouraging segregation. And I'm not saying that I think that traditionally black institutions are bad. I think they're great. They were created for a very specific reason, and that's because black people did not have a place to go. And so they created that community. And I think that's awesome. But I also think that it shouldn't be looked down upon for people who decide that they want to branch out to other systems. I think it goes both ways. You know, like if a white person wanted to rush a traditionally black sorority, I think that that would be great. And I think that they should be welcomed with open arms.
I do think we've made progress. I'm a part, as I said, I'm a part of the Zeta Pi chapter, and basically, since our founding in 1969, we've produced the first, second, and third SGA presidents, also the first, second, and third black SGA presidents, and the first and second black Student Government Association vice president, the first black drum major, the first black ROTC pilot, the first black editor of the Red and Black. Like, there has been loads and loads of progress since the admittance of Charlene Hunter Galt and Hamilton Holmes. And I think that we are still progressing to today. As I look around campus, there's always a face that I am familiar with in each and every organization. And I think that we're only getting better. We're only getting stronger.
It is not your identity, and you are not joining a group of people just to fall into the background. Like, you are joining a group of people to become the best version of yourself as an individual. I think that until people make an effort to understand other people, we're never gonna make any progress. Like, the whole point is to understand people who are different from us. And I think that if you continue to surround yourself with people who are the same as you, you're never gonna get anywhere.
It's totally different now from when I came on campus, and the involvement to me has increased tenfold since I've been on campus. And just interacting with the freshman class and seeing how excited they are to join different organizations, it only makes me happier, and it only makes me less worried about what the future will be like, because the African Americans at this university are achieving, and they are aiming to be better and to be more involved and to reach higher goals than my class and the people that came before me. History can easily be forgotten in a 4-year cycle. And if we didn't take it upon ourselves to emphasize the importance of Charlene Hunter Galt and Hamilton Holmes, in 4 years, they might not even be honored on this campus. So it's very, very important to acknowledge our history so that students can learn and appreciate what we have. If people don't understand the struggle that it took to get a Black Affairs Council, or to get Alpha Phi Alpha on this campus, or to get funding for all of those, or to get MSP or different organizations like that, to get that on, or the right of Sankofa, to get those programs and those organizations on this campus, they won't care about it, and they won't join it, and they won't participate, and if you don't, they'll disappear. How far do I think we have to go? I don't think we have to go far. Some of the things, some of the organizations, some of the companies, some of the opportunities that students are getting from this university are by far amazing. I don't think we have to go far. I think we just have to be cognizant of each other, not to forget that community is a big part of our heritage, not to forget that community is what can help us, is like to use each other and to love each other and to use each other to lift each other up.
I come from this really optimistic place of like, oh, everyone will work together and everyone will understand everyone, and that's just not true, and I know I need to realize that, but I think that it could happen in the future for UGA, and I would really like to see it happen, and if I had any small impact on that, then I'm happy with my time here.
And Cindy and Andre should be extremely pleased with their time here at UGA.
Definitely. It's students like them who are leading today's equality movement on campuses across the nation.
Right, and by preaching optimism and remembering their heritage, they're carrying along with them the fundamental goals of Mrs. Hunter Galt.
You know, in general, they had a pretty good experience here at UGA, but not every student that's walked across this campus can say the same thing. That's where the Equal Opportunity Office comes in. They handle complaints related to discrimination and harassment against students, faculty, and staff at UGA. I spoke with the assistant director who explained the policies meant to protect anyone on UGA's campus.
They can come to our office here in the Holmes Hunter building. We also accept complaints by email or over the phone. And in some situations, we will go outside of the office to meet with a complainant if they feel more comfortable meeting somewhere else. We handle complaints of discrimination or harassment that are covered by the non-discrimination anti-harassment policy. So that policy articulates a list of protected categories, which are things like race, sex, sexual orientation, religion, age, national origin, disability, veteran status, genetic information. In some instances, the workplace violence policy may apply, which is a human resources policy that's enforced by UGA's Human Resource Department. If it's a student who's engaging in the problematic conduct and it doesn't fall under our policy, it may fall under the Code of Student Conduct, and then the Office of Student Conduct investigates those complaints. Gay rights and LGBT issues are sort of at the forefront of the civil rights movement right now. There's just a lot of rapidly evolving law in those areas, both at the federal level and then at the various state levels as well. Title IX, which governs gender equity in higher education, which also includes issues of sexual misconduct on campus, is another area where there's sort of a lot of activity nationally right now, and is an area that's getting a lot of attention in higher education.
Claire Norins mentioned that LGBTQ issues are at the forefront of today's civil rights movement, and that's true right here at UGA. Many people recognize gender and racial discrimination, but forget that it also exists against the LGBTQ community. And in order to speak out against that, UGA is hosting Lavender Graduation. It is an event that celebrates the accomplishments of LGBTQ students right here at UGA. It is the 9th year, and I spoke with the event coordinator, David Todd, about its significance and how he would like to see change happen right here on campus.
Rarely do we see kind of graduations celebrating their accomplishments for certain identity groups or the LGBTQ community, kind of outside the classroom stuff. So it's kind of like a specific ceremony to kind of pat those students on the back that have even just come in the center a few times and kind of interacted with people. I think that speaks to the progressiveness of UGA and kind of how things kind of get done quickly. And there are people who are willing to kind of get these things started and on the ground. I think as far as UGA has come, we still have a long way to go. I just have heard a lot of personal stories about students kind of experiencing some sort of discrimination, even if it's like a microaggression, like people are intending to not be offensive, but they just happen to be. And so I think that we do have a lot of work to do as a community and as a UGA and Athens community to really support the LGBTQ community. If something happens, just to not stay silent and to say, hey, like, my friend is gay and I've talked to him about that word and I think he would find it offensive, and you never know who's listening.
Now we've shown you the progress we've made as a campus, but there's still more room to grow.
What can you do to make a difference? Educate yourself.
And have the conversation with your friends and family.
Because talking about it will only bring awareness.
Now just imagine how far UGA can grow within the next 50 years.